Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm feel like $1 million. Thank
Ah,
you. And
that's good to hear.
this is good time for us. Very, very good time. Great.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, perfect timing.
Uh, Rorisang, first of
Yeah.
all, thank you for accepting this interview. It is always a pleasure to speak with athletes who have who have built their career through discipline, hard work, and consistency. You are very hardworking. Looking at your achievements, it is clear that you have earned respect in South African boxing through dedication and perseverance. I very, very respect you. Today, I would like to take our audience through your entire journey, from your childhood to your current ambitions and future goals.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. And I also like to thank you for giving me the opportunity, to giving me a platform, to speak about my story and, my journey throughout boxing so far and where I plan on going the near future. Yeah.
Yes, of course, my country, my people, very, very respect you.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
When I look at your story, I see someone who carries himself with humility and purpose. Not every athlete manages to stay grounded while chasing success. I think understanding where that mindset comes from is the perfect place to begin. What kind of child were you growing up before boxing entered your life?
Um, well, I was pretty I was okay. Growing up, I had very low self-esteem, you know. I was fat, and I was always bullied. Yeah, so yeah, that's why I got into boxing. But then staying humble came from my parents. I grew up in a household that taught me that respect is very important and is key. I have to remain grounded at all times, you know. And if I treat people with respect, they'll do the same to me. They'll give that respect back. Yeah.
Where,
And then,
yeah,
sorry?
where did you grow up and what was life like in your community?
Well, I'll say up until the age of 6, I grew up in Klipfontein, which is a township. It was a township. And then, no, actually, up until 12, yeah, 12. Grew up in Klipfontein, it's in Midrand. And then I moved to Bremley, which is a suburb, right? And then, yeah, went to school to Linda's primary school, right? And then from there, uh, well, actually, I only got into boxing. When did I start boxing? When I was 14. Yeah, 14. That's when I started boxing. And that's because of all the bullying that took place in primary school, being called names, you know, getting beaten up almost every other week. That really uh, pushed me, to learn the sport of boxing. So yeah.
I have noticed that faith seems to be an important part of your life. Your profile in Instagram reflects a sense of peace and gratitude that many people admire. I'm curious about where those values come from. How has faith influenced your life and boxing journey?
Yeah, I see you did your research. You made sure. Okay, so where it started is my parents, actually my family. They big on faith. So I grew up in a household that taught me that I need to put God first. Through God everything is possible. And then in terms of my boxing, um, I believe that everything happens for a reason. You know, we may not understand why some things may happen, but God has a greater purpose for us. So for instance, when I lost last year, my first loss at nationals, in the semifinals, you know, at first, yeah, I was devastated, but then because I'm big on faith, you know, I learned that I had faith that you know what, God has a greater plan for me. Everything happens for a reason, you know. And then also, uh, last year I had to get surgery in my left wrist. I was told that I might not box again. So my faith played a massive role, you know, in pushing me and keeping a positive mind that I have to keep going. So yeah, it's all because of my family being big on Christ, you know, and faith that has helped me, you know, to keep that aspect part of me. And yeah.
Every athlete has someone
Sorry?
who inspires them. Sometimes it's a family member, sometimes a coach, and sometimes a sporting hero. I'd like to know who played that role in your life. Who were your biggest role models growing up?
In terms of boxing or in general?
Uh, in boxing and general,
Okay. In boxing, it has to be my coach, Coach Sean Ness. Yeah. And the reason why that is because he saw something in me when no one else did. You know, he was my first. So where I trained, that was my first boxing gym. You know, so I was still a new kid there, and then you know he put in effort, put in time to help me improve. You know, he told me that you know I have potential, and I must you know keep pushing myself. I must stay humble. You know, continue learning, work hard, remain disciplined. So yeah, and also he was also a boxer. You know, so learning about his story as well has really helped me. You know, progress and develop as a boxer. And yeah, he's an inspiration in and outside of the ring. And then outside of boxing, it would have to be my parents. Reason being their support, um, the work they put in, you know, I see it like with my dad. My dad is super disciplined. So I think that's where I got my discipline and hard work from my dad. And my mom, yeah, super supportive. She comes to almost every fight. If she's not at work, she doesn't have to go to work on that day on my fights, then he comes, always makes sure that I'm eating the right food, you know, that I'm training, and she's always making sure I'm okay. So yeah, it'd have to be my parents.
boxing often enters a person's life unexpectedly. A
Yeah,
single visit to a gym can completely change someone's future.
yeah.
Let's go back to that important moment. How did you first discover boxing?
Okay. So I was 14. Um, yeah, I was 14. And then I started, so I had a video game, right? UFC, you know, the video game, UFC. So I started playing it, and then I started falling in love with mixed martial arts, right? And then COVID came, and then so I couldn't um go outside, so I just started, you know, training indoors, mainly just MMA, you know, trying to learn MMA. And then I'd asked my mom to help me sign up for an MMA gym. And then she told me that, oh, you know, she was in contact with the coach. And then apparently she wasn't because she didn't want me to do MMA. And then a year later, uh, I joined, was it a year or 2 years later, I I was searching for gyms. Then I saw a boxing gym, hot box. I'm like, oh, it's not far from where I live, like 2, 3 minutes away. Like, okay, let me get in contact with them. Then I started talking to them. And then yeah, I just started training, you know, here and there for fun. And then some night I was watching Southpaw, you know the movie Southpaw? Yeah, so I was watching Southpaw, and then yeah, that movie touched me. And then at the end of the movie, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to be a boxer. Yeah.
Wow, you tell me a very, very interesting story. Your
Yeah.
story is very inspiring.
Thank you.
What do you remember most about your first day in a boxing gym?
Yeah, it's the sparring. Yeah, yo, those guys beat me up that day. Because the first day I came on a Monday, and at the gym they spar on Mondays. So yeah, got there, I was nervous. Like, here, guys, are in groups. They talking, having fun. And then I was the newcomer, I was quiet. And then we just started sparring, and yeah, they beat me up. Yeah, got home, I was bruised. I'm like, yeah, no, I might not want to box ever again. But then, I kept showing up. That's the one thing I remember, the beating I got on that first day.
Sparring is never easy. Every fighter faces challenges that test their commitment. Looking back now, those struggles often become valuable lessons. What were the biggest challenges when you started boxing? Tell me please about the biggest challenge.
I would say it would have to be just showing up, even on your bad days, just showing up. Because sometimes you have a bad sparring session and then you won't want to come the following day because you think maybe boxing is not for you. But then, yeah, having to force yourself, tell yourself that you still need to show up. That's how you're gonna improve. Yeah, that's one. And also, yeah, discipline, discipline. Going to the gym every week, showing up every week. Yeah. And also the diet, being disciplined with your diet. So yeah, it'll have to be showing up and the discipline.
When people see successful athletes, they often only see the final result. They don't always see the sacrifices made behind the scenes. I'd like to know what sacrifices you had to make. What sacrifices did you make to pursue boxing seriously?
Oh, the one that stands out the most is that I don't spend as much time with my family. Like so with my family every year they go out on vacation. That's early in the year. So usually March, April. So yeah, I haven't gone out with my family since I don't know, since I was 16, 17. So whenever they go out for events or vacation, I never go with them. I'm always in the gym preparing for championships or and never I don't want to miss a session. I always want to make sure that I put in that work. So it has really affected my time with my family. Yeah.
When did you realize boxing could become a major part of your life?
I'd say once I started seeing my progress. So the guys that were beating me up in my first day of sparring, once I saw that, I'm actually giving them a challenge now in sparring, that's why I'm like, you know what, boxing might actually be for me, because I could notice the hard work I was putting in. So eventually I'm like, yeah, boxing might actually be for me. Started falling in love with it so much.
The lessons we learn as children often stay with us forever. Those lessons can help us through victories and defeats alike. I'd love to hear which lessons shaped you the most. What childhood lesson still helps you today as a boxer?
Uh, so growing up, my parents always told me to keep my circle small, you know, surround myself with people who have good intentions, you know, people who will help me grow but not bring me down. So that has really helped me in terms of in my boxing journey to keep my circle small and surround myself with people who are going to help me level up and keep me grounded and disciplined into achieving my goals. So yeah, that would be the main lesson.
Looking at your achievements, it's obvious that your amateur career played a huge role in shaping you as an athlete. You are Gauteng Champion, Johannesburg Champion, Gauteng Novice Champion, bronze medalist national championships. Great achievements.
Thank
Becoming
you.
a champion is never easy and requires years of dedication. I think your amateur journey deserves special attention. How would you describe your amateur boxing journey?
It's been fun, very fun, and I've enjoyed every single moment of it, especially championship season, because now you get to spend your time with your friends a lot. You guys are in the gym together like 24/7. You're working hard together, you're having fun. Or when you go to championships, you all spend time together, just making jokes. Yeah, it's been amazing. And eventually I am gonna turn pro. But yeah, I've enjoyed every single moment of amateurs. It's been amazing. I've enjoyed it.
Winning championships is something many fighters dream about, but only a few achieve. You managed to become a Gauteng champion and Johannesburg champion, which is impressive. I'd like to know what those achievements mean to you. Which championship victory means the most to you and why?
Um, which one means the most to me? I'd say this one, the one I just won. Reason being is that I had lost Joe this year. I won last year and then I lost Joe this year. And then the guy who beat me, I thought I won that fight, but it's boxing. I understand it's amateur boxing because they look at volume. So I had an idea like, okay, maybe that's why I lost. But then I had a chip on my shoulder, you know. So I worked very hard to make sure that I won our rematch. So I trained very hard. Remained disciplined throughout my preparation for hard things. And then when I won that fight, it was a it felt good that my hard work actually paid off. And for me, it wasn't even our last fight. It wasn't my last fight there. It was, I think, my fifth fight. Yeah, I had a total of six fights. But like that win meant the most to me. And yeah, so the Gauteng championships I just won, yeah, has to be my number one achievement so far.
Champions are often defined not only by victories, but also by the opponents they face. Tough fights reveal true character and determination. I'm curious about the toughest challenge you encountered. Who was the toughest opponent of your amateur career?
Yeah, I can't name one. Can I just name a few? Can't really. Okay, I have three. So in no order, say Mo. I actually train with him. He's my friend. I just fought him now at Gauteng Championships. Reason why, yeah, he hits hard. He has power, insane power and speed. Like even when you block his shots, you feel that not like this guy has insane power. And then two, Emmanuel. That's the guy who beat me at Joburg's. And yeah, fought him again at Gauteng's. The reason why he was a tough fight is that he has heart. He keeps coming, he doesn't stop. So I respect him. I respect him for that. And then the third one is Philip, the guy I fought last year in nationals. That was our second. So I fought him twice. Both fights were, yeah, very hard. That's the guy who beat me at nationals. Reason being is that he's long. He's big and long. He's very strong. So I struggled with that. So those would have to be my top three toughest opponents. I can't really tell you which one was the hardest, but then yeah, those are my top three.
Great. Top.
Yeah.
Which amateur fight taught you the most? Tell me please about this fight.
Mm, yeah, my first loss. My first loss. So going to that fight, I always thought, hard work, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. But then leading towards the national championships, I could feel myself like burning out. But I didn't quite listen to my body. I thought like recovery, taking a break, a rest was just, an excuse. You have to stay in the gym. And then yeah, it really affected me at nationals. Yeah, I won my first fight, but I wasn't quite happy with my performance. And then I lost the semi-finals, yeah. And yeah, I lost fair and square. I definitely lost that fight. I know I lost it. Uh, but yeah, I learned a very valuable lesson that day that what, one, recovery is important, and that two, um, l- losses losses don't define me. You know, every loss happens for a reason, and it just shapes me to be a better person, a better boxer. Yeah.
Representing your region and winning medals, bronze medals, comes with responsibility. Young athletes begin looking up to you and
Yeah.
following you example. That's a powerful position to be in. What does it mean to represent Gauteng in boxing?
It means a lot to me, shows that my hard work is paying off, and also to have people looking up to me sh- shows that I have a responsibility, to lead and inspire the other upcoming boxers, to set an example of the standard you need to maintain to be the best, in the province, not just in the province, but in the country. So yeah, it means a very, very, it means a lot to me. Yeah.
Reaching championship level requires consistency over a long period of time. Many talented athletes never manage to stay focused long enough to achieve what you have already achieved. Your success at regional and national competitions shows that you possess both talent and determination. You're not just talent boxer, you're a very disciplined boxer. What was going through your mind when you stepped into the ring at your first, very, very first national championships?
Um, my first fight at nationals, I was very nervous for that fight because it was my first time at a big stage like nationals. Yeah, Gauteng championships are big, but they're not as big as nationals. You know, so I was very, very, very nervous for that fight. And but at the same time, I was excited that it's my first time here, and I have a chance to prove myself that I actually belong here. That I should actually be named with the top amateur boxers in the country. So yeah, it was a very exciting and yeah, eye-opening experience.
Winning medals is never easy because every opponent wants the same prize. The pressure increases with every round, and only the strongest competitors survive. I'd love to know about the moment that made you most proud. Which victory made you feel that you truly belonged amongst the best boxers in your division?
Um, I'd say yeah, last year Joburg Championships. It was my first time competing in the Joburg Championships, and then the first guy I fought was Junior Kelly. You know, at the time Junior had the previous year, I'm not quite sure if he had won gold, if you won Gauteng Championships or you got silver. And then I think he had over 50 amateur fights. So he was in my opinion, he was the main guy in the division, or maybe top two. So he was a very, very, very he's even now till this day, he's very good. I respect him so much. So yeah, it was my first fight. And before the fight, guys were telling me, "Oh, Junior is amazing. Junior is this. Junior is that. You're gonna have a tough fight. He's gonna beat you. You don't stand a chance, and so on." So when I actually won that fight, yeah, it made me realize that I'm actually one of the top guys in the division, and it proved that victory proved that I actually belong. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say that's the fight. That's the win.
Even champions experience difficult defeats. Sometimes losses teach lessons that victories never can. Looking back, honestly, those moments often become turning points. What is the most important lesson you learned from a defeat?
Um, the I was yeah, my first loss because at the time before my loss, I had 17 or 8, I'm not sure, 17 or 18 fights, and I'd won them all, right? So I started feeling like like I cannot be beat. Like I'm never gonna lose. So that fight taught me that, even the great boxers, lose. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a loss but a lesson. It helps you to improve and level up as a boxer. So it really taught me that, everyone can lose. Everyone can lose. Even Floyd Mayweather, yeah, he went undefeated as a pro, but as an amateur, he lost. And losses don't define you. They help you to improve and level up as a boxer. So yeah, that's the lesson I took from that fight.
Yes, yes. Floyd lost on Olympics Games,
Yeah.
and behind every successful fighter, there is usually a coach who believes in him. Great coaches don't just teach technique, they help build character and confidence. I'd love to hear about the people who guided you. Which coach has had the biggest influence on your boxing career and why?
Okay. Well, can I name two coaches actually? The first one, Coach Sean Ness. That's been my main coach since started taking boxing seriously. And the second coach is Derek. Yeah, he came to the gym last year, early last year. And yeah, though he has helped every boxer in the gym, he has really helped us level up and push us to that next level. And he really takes good care of us. I've built a very good connection with Derek. So yeah, those would have to be the
Sorry,
coaches.
Derek Chisora.
No, no, not
I
Derek Chisora.
joke. Yeah, I joke.
Yeah, no, not him. But yeah, Coach Derek, Sean Ness and Derek. Yeah.
My friend, when did you realize you were becoming one of the top amateur boxers in your region?
Um, I'd say yeah, last year championships, winning, the big fights and doing it in style. There were some fights, yeah, I would struggle, but overall, my performances like made me realize that I'm actually becoming what I've dreamed to be, like in terms of amateur boxing. I'm leveling up so much, and I could see it in my performances.
Next. I want to talk about your boxing style, training, and champion mindset. Rorisang, when people watch elite fighters, they often focus on results. However, what truly makes a boxer special is the style he develops over years of dedication. I think your style is an important part of your identity as a fighter. Your defensive is amazing, your footwork good, your powerful, you are very, very strong. How would you describe your boxing style to someone who has never seen your fight?
Um, I would say I'm a boxer puncher. I'm good everywhere. I don't necessarily have a weakness. I can fight on the outside, can fight on the inside, back foot, front foot. I can counter punch. I can, apply pressure. Of course, yeah, there are some aspects that are better than others, but overall, yeah, I'm quite balanced. Yeah, but I mainly prefer, keeping my distance when I box. But if I have to fight on the inside, then yeah, I can do it as well.
What do you consider your greatest strengths inside the ring?
Uh, Distance management. That would have to be, yeah, distance management and my jab. Those two, my jab and my distance management.
What aspect of your boxing are you currently working hardest to improve?
My combinations. That would be because with amateurs it's quite fast paced. So yeah, I'm still struggling to, work on my work rate. Because with my coach, he's a pro boxing coach as well, right? So when he started teaching me how to box, it was like a pro friendly style, not necessarily amateur. And with our pros, they don't really work as much as amateurs. So now having to shift from that style and add that amateur aspects to it, yeah, I struggled a bit, especially the high work rate. I still struggle with it a bit now, but it's getting better over time. Yeah, the work rate.
Wow. By the way, your jab is very cool. You can win fights with one jab. Jab, jab, jab.
Yeah,
Combinations are like plan B when the jab doesn't work.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. You
Training
know, they,
reward.
sorry.
What does a typical training day look like for you?
Well, it differs, but usually I train twice a day, or one session in the morning, early hours, then again in the evening. So, for instance, today, I did strength and conditioning in the morning, and then later I'm gonna do a bit of technical work, so pad work, bag work, and some shadow boxing, and yeah, that's usually how my sessions look. Sometimes I might have one session if I have sparring. And so if I have sparring, usually I'll have just that session because I need to be sharp and focus for sparring. But if it's earlier on in the day, then yeah, I might have a light session again in the evening, maybe like road work. Yeah.
You have a cool jab, but and who is the best jab in the history of boxing, in your opinion?
Mm.
I think in Muhammad Ali.
You say Muhammad Ali. Okay,
Yeah,
for me, um, it would have to be Floyd. Yeah, Floyd. Floyd. Yeah. And also an underrated pick, Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, because he's still developing, he's not there yet. Okay, he is a top boxer, but I think at the end of his career, yeah, he'll be considered one of the best jabbers in boxing because that's my favorite boxer. I watch all his fights and his jab is phenomenal. So I've also based my style a lot on him, hence my distance management and the way I use my jab. Got it from Shakur Stevenson.
My friend, did you hear that Shakur Stevenson signed Zufa?
He did what?
Did you hear that Shakur Stevenson signed Zufa promotion?
He signed with Zufa.
Yeah,
No, no, I don't. Did he?
yes.
Oh, that's I didn't know that. I didn't. I know Conor Ben signed with Zufa, but I didn't know that Shakur also signed with Zufa. That's I didn't know.
Shakur Stevenson will perform in Zufa. By the way, do you want do you want to go to Zufa?
Nah, not really. Not really. Reason being, it's okay. It's still the new kid on the block, so you don't. I don't really know how far it's gonna go because it could fail. Because the other four big organizations in boxing, they've been here for a very long time. They are established, and also with Zufa, I think the it's also run by Dana White. You know Dana White and how he pays his MMA fighters. It's not that good, so he might actually do the same as well for the boxing. So yeah, I don't think I'd sign for Zufa. If the opportunity came now, I don't think I would. Unless maybe, you know, they they get better over time, they develop and they become an established organization, then yeah, probably I might consider it. But as of right now, no.
Every boxer has a favorite type of training. Some enjoy sparring, while others prefer strength and conditioning work. I'm curious, what motivates you the most? Which part of training do you enjoy the most and why?
Okay, okay, the main one is sparring. I love sparring. Yeah, with sparring, if you can't develop a level up as a boxer if you don't spar. You have to spar. So yeah, I wanted to have to be sparring because I get to work on the things I've been practicing on the bag, mitts, shadow boxing, and I get to apply them in sparring. And sparring is the closest thing to, a fight. Come fight is the closest thing, so you have to spar. And number two, I consider it training, but you know, watching fight boxing, simply studying boxing, I also consider it training, training the mind, developing your ring IQ. For me, that's also training. You simply watching the greats and what they do best. Yeah, that would have to be also one of my favorite training.
You are very talented, but also you are very disciplined. Discipline is something that many people talk about, but very few truly master. Looking at your accomplishments, it's clear that discipline has played a huge role in your success. I'd like to know how do you develop it? What habits have helped you stay disciplined throughout your boxing journey?
I'd say the main one would have to be having a clear goal, long term, whether it be short term or long term. Once you set a goal or what you want to achieve, it's easier for you you know, to get up and go train because now you have something you're striving for, something you aiming to achieve. Unlike someone who's just getting up, doesn't know why he's doing, the training, he's simply gonna give up. He's not gonna be really interested or want to train because they don't have a goal. But someone who's working towards something, they're gonna continuously, put in the work, show up. So yeah, that would be the first one. And the second one, I surround myself with people that have that strive for similar goals or want the same thing as me. Because once I see those people working hard, it's also gonna push me to level up as a boxer and remain disciplined. Yeah.
Also, you are mental strong. The mental side of boxing is often overlooked. Physical preparation is important, but confidence and focus can decide a fight. I think many young athletes could learn from your experience. How do you prepare mentally before an important fight?
Okay, so I made a change. So now recently, I've focused more on myself rather than my opponent. Because what I would do last year, yeah, especially last year, I would focus too much on my opponent and it would make me very nervous for the fight because I'd be afraid that, oh, I might lose and so on. But now I focus more on myself and just having fun in that ring. Yeah, I want to win. Of course, I want to win. I don't like losing. I want to win. But also, I must not forget that I'm doing something I love, which is boxing. So I just go in there telling myself, you know what, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna win. I don't really think about my opponent because once you start thinking about your opponent, right, you're giving that person power over you. So try to avoid thinking about your opponent as much and just focus on yourself and your performance. And then that's when you're gonna have fun and you're not really gonna be nervous for your fight or whether any other sport, you're gonna perform very well.
No boxing, no life.
Yeah.
How do you handle pressure during major competitions?
I would my faith in God, I leave it to him. I don't really think about my fights that much, like not performing. I just simply leave it in God's hands because I know beforehand that I put in the work, I trained, I did what I could. Now I just leave it in God's hands, you know put faith in him, leave my faith in him, and yeah, see what happens.
Many fighters have one performance that perfectly represents who they are as competitors. It may not be their most famous victory, but it's showcase their abilities and character. I'd love to hear about yours. Tell me please about your the best fight. Which fight best represents the boxer you are today?
I would say my fight last year at Gauteng, second last fight against Philip. The reason why that I would say is my best fight, best performance is because okay, round one, it was a close fight, but I think I just edged it. And then round two, yeah, I started catching me, and then I got a standing 8 count as well. So round three, I came back. We're both tired, but I kept pushing. Eventually, I got the win. The reason why that fight stands out for me is that I showed great resilience in that fight and showing that if that I really wanted that win. I wanted to win, and I showed great resilience in that fight. So yeah, that would have to be the fight for me.
What do you do when a fight is not going according to your game plan?
One, the first thing I have to keep a cool head. I mustn't get too emotional or try to or give up, but stay cool, stay relaxed, and remember that this happens. Even the greats that have struggled with such things. So that's the first thing. I stay relaxed. Then two, I adapt. If something is not working for me, I quickly change to something new, something else, because that's one of my great strengths. The fact that I'm able to fight on the outside and inside, switch it up, it really helps me to adapt mid fight. If something's not really working out for me, I can quickly change, to a style that yeah will get me the win.
Boxing history is filled with legendary champions whose styles continue to inspire new generations. Every boxer studies certain fighters and learns from them. I'd love to know who inspires you. Which professional boxer do you admire the most and why? Of those who are currently performing in the ring.
It would have to be so just one boxer.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, it would have to be yeah, Shakur Stevenson. That's the guy for me. Reason being, with Shakur Stevenson, right? He's not flashy. He's not doing, hands down or no. He's just good with the basics, the fundamentals of boxing. Simple footwork, stepping in, stepping out. A good guard using the jab. Good head movement. He's not flashy. So if you're to show a beginner boxing and then you just show him Shakur Stevenson how to move, how to use the jab, he does it very well. He sticks to the basics, but he does them at a top level, as well as his distance management. So yeah, Shakur Stevenson is that guy for me.
in your opinion, who will win the hypothetical battle Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis?
Shakur Stevenson, and it's not a bit close. I don't think it's close. People say like we actually had this discussion at the gym, and I genuinely believe it won't be a close fight. It won't be a close fight. Reason being, Gervonta Davis is a slow starter. Right, he usually loses the first 3, 4 rounds. He waits for the perfect opportunity to catch you off guard and knock you out. So Gervonta Davis, you're winning until you're not. He just catches you with that one shot, then lights out. Whereas Shakur Stevenson won't give him that opportunity. He'll be on him from round one, and Chico Stevenson doesn't take risks. That's why people say he has a boring style. He doesn't take risks. So he's not gonna put himself in a situation where Javante Davis might be able to counter him. So yeah, I think he'd just outpoint him 12 or for every single round he'll just outpoint him. I think Javante Davis at most he'll win 2 rounds. At most. It won't be a close fight at all.
Gervonta won't hit him. Will it be a declass?
Would it be close? No, I don't think it would be close. I don't think it's gonna be close at all. What's your opinion? Do you think Javante would beat Stevenson?
Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. Who will win?
Yeah, that one is a bit okay. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because Devin Haney is big. He's a big guy, and he has a very good jab as well. You know, so yeah, man, that one. But I still give the edge to Shakur Stevenson because of his distance management. You know, and speed. I think Devin Haney would struggle against his speed, and we saw it against uh who's this Ryan Garcia. I think he struggled with his speed, and Shakur Stevenson he's quite fast. So I might just edge it to Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. I think Shakur will watch this fight many times. In your opinion,
Yeah.
did Lomachenko beat Haney?
Um. Yeah.
This is
When I was watching the fight, I gave the edge to Lomachenko,
robbery.
but it was a close fight though. So I don't think it wasn't a robbery. It could have gone either way. But for me, when I watched it, I gave the slight edge to Loma. But yeah, I wasn't mad with the result. It was a very close fight. Could have gone either way, but I just gave the edge to Loma.
Some athletes prefer watching modern fighters, while others study legends from the past. Both can offer valuable lessons. I'm curious which era interested you most. My favorite boxer is Muhammad Ali. Your favorite boxer is Floyd Mayweather. If you could study one boxing legend up close for a week, who would it be?
Um, it would have to be, yeah, it would have to be Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather. Reason being, I'd wanna like his training. I just wanna see how his mind works. Like I think Floyd's best strength is his ring IQ. So I want to know like what does he do to have, that elite ring IQ? Does he just watch tape? Does he does he just, continuously spar? Or what does he do exactly that allows him to have such a high ring IQ? So yeah, Floyd.
The sport continues to evolve every year. New styles, new champions, energy constantly. Staying ahead requires a willingness to learn. What modern boxing trend do you think young fighters should pay more attention to?
Um, I would say footwork, especially looking at boxers like Lomachenko. The way Lomachenko boxes, it's something we boxers haven't really seen much of. The angles, the way he utilizes angles, it's exceptional. So I think that's one thing boxers should start applying and implementing their training. The utilization of angles, and we see it now with Bam Rodriguez, the way he uses the angles. Yeah, it's game changer. If you're able to apply it really properly in your style, you'll be a dangerous boxer.
Lomachenko returns. Who will win? Lomachenko versus Gervonta Davis.
Uh, I'd say Lomachenko. Thing is, I don't rate Javante that highly. I think Javante Davis is overrated. I think people overrate him. He hasn't really fought anyone that's, like elite. His best win is Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia lost to Romero, you know. So yeah, I think Lomachenko beats Javante. But then also, father time is a real thing. Loma is aging. I think he's 38 now, 38, 39. So that also plays a part, a massive role in the fight. But yeah, I'll still give the edge to Lomachenko.
Gervonta Davis is waiting for Lomachenko to grow old.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Once Loma hits 40, 41, then he'll fight him because he knows that Loma is gonna beat him.
How do you stay hungry after achieving major accomplishments?
I'd say it'd have to be for me, these are just short-term goals. The main goal for me is becoming a world champion. So I just see them as small steps into reaching that pinnacle goal of mine, which is becoming a world champion. So yeah, I don't really think much of my wins right now. When I win Joburgs, when I win how things, even when I win essays, I won't let it get to my head. I must remain grounded because I know these are just small victories for something bigger, which is me becoming world champion one day. And I know it's gonna happen. Just a matter of time.
How do you stay confident without becoming overconfident?
Um, I have to remember that with boxing, right, you have to be teachable. You have to be a student, the game. you must remember that there's always someone better than you. I'm the best guy now in the gym. Now, pros, whether pros in SA, there's someone else who's better than him. World champions right now, there's someone who's coming up who eventually dethrone them. There's always someone better than you. So it's a thing of being humble, learning from my coaches, learning from other boxers, even if it's someone that I know that if we're to fight, I would probably beat that person, but they might be seeing something in my style that I don't see. So yeah, you have to believe that, you're great and yeah, that no one can beat you. Now, on your day, no one can beat you. But also you have to remember that thing you are still a student of the game. You haven't perfected the sport. You still have to learn and develop. So yeah.
Which victory are you most proud of and why?
Um yeah, it would have to be my recent fight now, Gauteng Championships against Meno, because he beat me at Joburg and it was a rematch and I really wanted to, yeah, get that one back. So yeah. And also our first fight, I strongly believed I won that fight, but then didn't go my way. Didn't think about it too much. It happens, in boxing, you win some, you lose some. It was a close fight though, so I didn't get robbed. Could have gone either way, but to me, I thought I won. But I could see where the judges were coming from. I lost fair and square, and then yeah, second fight, I had to get it back, and yeah, it meant a lot to me.
Our interview is very useful for young athletes because every athlete has a personal source of motivation. It may come from family, goals, faith, or the desire to prove something. Understanding that motivation can be inspiring. What motivates you to keep pushing yourself every day?
I'll say it'll have to be um my long-term goal of becoming a world champion. That's the one that keeps me going, being a world champion one day. And also, proving to the people that believed in me right, because I'm not just doing it for me, but also for them. All the time, support, they've been invested in me, and I give it back to them with the world title one day.
What responsibility comes with being a champion?
Ensuring that you maintain a good image for yourself and also the people you surround yourself with. Because a lot of people have eyes on you. You know, so it's important that for the other upcoming boxers or the younger guys that you are able to give them something to look for, or how can I put this? Someone they can inspire to be, learn from. Yeah.
Boxing is often described as a lonely sport because so much responsibility falls on the athlete. Yet, great fighters usually have strong support systems around them. I'd like to know about yours. Who has been the most important person in your boxing journey?
It would have to be my coach, Sean Ness. That's the main guy. He's been with me since day one. He has shaped me to be the boxer I am today. He has believed in me when no one else did. He's always making sure that I'm I'm mentally okay as well as physically. So yeah, that's the main person.
Olympic gold medalist or undisputed champion in pro? What is the biggest dream you are currently chasing in boxing?
Uh, World champion. That's the main one. World champion.
Not just world champion, undisputed champion.
Yeah, that's big. That's another one. But the firstly, the one that I think pushes me is being world champion. Once I can get that, then aim for that undisputed. Yeah.
Tell me please about your dream fight.
Someone I would want to fight or boxers that I wanna watch them fight. Like I would want them to fight each other. Which one?
Uh, One fight, maybe versus Shakur Stevenson.
Oh, someone I would wanna fight. Abdullah Mason.
Wow.
Yeah, Abdullah Mason.
What
He's
what do you think about Abdullah Mason?
Mason is amazing. He's an amazing boxer. He's his his ability to maintain a calm, to stay relaxed, right? His power, his pressure, because he's very good technically, but unlike Stevenson, he comes for you. He wants to stop you. He wants to hurt you. He takes risks here and there. Looking for that knockout. So yeah, he's young and he's exceptional. He's amazing.
How to beat him? Are you going to punch him with a jab? Jab, 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 jab. Will you include combinations? Pa 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 pam.
Now with Abdullah Mason, I think the way to beat Abdullah Mason is to simply outbox him. Because if you try to brawl with him, yeah, he's gonna hurt you really bad. Because that's what he likes. He tries to apply that pressure and then yeah, just catch you with those nice counters, applies pressure, then yeah, waits for you to open up, then he catches you. So you just have to, stay calm, stay relaxed, and just outbox him.
Abdullah Mason. I I think you will beat him up. The main thing is that the judges don't robber you.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, one day, fight him one day.
Rorisang, thank you for sharing your story, your experiences, and your perspective with us today. Speaking with dedicated athletes like you is always inspiring because your journey reflects hard work. You are very hardworking,
Thank you so
disciplined,
much.
and believe. Before we finish, I would like to leave our audience with one final question. If a young boxer watching this interview dreams of becoming a champion one day, what advice would you give him right now?
Give it your all. If you really want it that badly, give it your all. Don't hold back. Yeah, give it 100%. Anything you do, give it 100%. Don't give 50%, but 100%. You have to be obsessed. You know, people must think that you're crazy. You have to be obsessed and give it your all. Then eventually your hard work will pay off.
Thank you, my friend. I
Thank you
believe
so
in you.
much. Thank you. I
Goodbye
appreciate it.
and
Bye.
good luck.
Thank you so much.